Hello and welcome to the United Stand. We are live if you are watching live. Sorry for being a little bit late. I was watching the Portugal-Iran game. What an end to the game. Apparently Messi's better than Ronaldo again now. Nonsense. But let's talk Manchester United because there's absolutely loads to talk about. New contract for Luke Shaw. Is De Gea losing it? But first of all, let's start off with Anthony Martial. Numerous reports over the last 24 hours that Jose Mourinho will not let Anthony Martial leave Manchester United. He's got no desire for him to leave Manchester United, which is obviously doesn't go hand in hand with what we had a couple of weeks ago, which is where Martial's agent was basically saying that Martial wants to leave because he feels he's being pushed out of United because of the actions of Mourinho. So where do we stand on that? And I think this is something we've got this real hunger for signings to come into Manchester United, and of course that's to be expected. It's the summer transfer window. That's what it's all about. But I did say at the start of May, and a few of you said it as well, that we're not going to have the big peaks this summer like we've had in the last two, because there's going to be some troughs. We're going to lose some players that maybe we don't want to lose. And the biggest one is probably Anthony Martial. So how does this resolve itself? Well, we pretty much know that Manchester United Football Club don't want to sell Anthony Martial. There's that fear that if you sell him, he's going to go off and be good somewhere else, that they spent a lot of money on him, that he's only 22, that he's not completed his journey to where he should be yet, and Manchester United want him to do that. The issue has always been Mourinho and Martial and how that works. Well, we've already had the first play from Mourinho, from Martial's agent, basically echoing what a lot of United fans have said. I've said it myself, that maybe Martial needs to go elsewhere to develop. The signing of Sanchez was really odd because he was doing really well, and that surely shows that Mourinho doesn't rate him. And Mourinho has publicly had a go at Martial a few times. So that you can understand why Martial may want to reluctantly leave a club that he's very happy at because of the manager. But then you've got a club who wants to keep him. And then Mourinho's stance is interesting, because I would have thought that if Jose Mourinho wanted rid of Martial, this is the perfect opportunity. His agent says he wants to leave. Move him off. You get rid of a player that you don't want anymore. But then we're hearing that Mourinho doesn't actually have an appetite to get rid of Anthony Martial, which I've thought about this, and I don't know what a lot of people have got to say about this, but Wakas says give him more game time and he'll do better, which I think is very good. And Durrani says Jose's first press conference is going to be very interesting, which is only probably a few weeks away. But Ridgem says Martial can go. I actually don't think Jose Mourinho will sell Anthony Martial. I don't. I think this is such a... Manchester United is a football club. It is. I'm sorry, it is. But it is a football club. But it's also a political animal. It's like a political party. And you've got so many people supporting that political party, i.e. as the fans, that when you've got a player that's so not even divisive, he's got the majority. And I know some people do want Martial to go and they don't like the Martial, but there's the majority of fans love Anthony Martial. When you've got a player like that, if you let him go, that's on you. And I think Mourinho has been very vocal, if you listen to him, about Salah. I don't like the fact that Salah's held against me. I didn't get rid of him. He was on loan and then he was sold when I'd left. So I wasn't the one who sold Salah. I was trying to develop Salah. And De Bruyne is on him as well. And even Lukaku to a certain extent when he went from Chelsea to Everton. I don't think Mourinho... You've always got... Mourinho is a very selfish person. And I'm saying that in a totally I back him and like him way, because his success is based on that selfish. It's about brand Mourinho. And I don't think Mourinho will want Martial on his record again, another player that he lets go and it goes wrong. So I think there might be that stubborn element for Mourinho as well. And also, yeah, you get 70 million for Martial and you get Willian for 40 million. But I think also Mourinho is fully aware that he doesn't have the full support of United fans at the moment. He's got the majority, but not the full support. And if he lets Martial go, I know fans who support Mourinho who are like, if Martial goes, he's virtually lost me. So I think United would look at it like that. Now, whether he's used next season was my next point. Is I think United will keep Martial. But whether that means he will be used next season any more than he was used last season is another matter. I think politically, Mourinho will look to keep Martial, but whether he's going to use him or not is another matter. But to be honest, I'll take that. I want him to stay at Manchester United. I think it's really important. Great to hear Martial is in Jose's plans for next season, says Sandeep. And people remember the mistakes of a goal. We'll talk about that, Pankaj. There would be an uprising amongst fans if Martial was allowed to leave, and I think Mourinho knows that, says Kevin O'Callaghan. And I think uprising might be a big word, But I think you're actually probably right. I don't think Martial will be allowed to leave Manchester United this summer unless there's a ridiculous amount of money on the table because of the fallout from that. The club know he's not a player to go. You know, you can say that Woodward admires Mourinho, and he does. And I think the club admire Mourinho, but it's Manchester United Football Club at the end of the day, and they will not want Martial to go. And I don't think Mourinho wants him to go for the reasons I've just said there either. So Martial would have to down tools, and I don't think Martial would down tools at United. I think Martial wants to leave United because of the manager, and he's not getting game time. I think he loves United. So the scenario is, I think Martial will be here next season, which is a big positive. Now that's only my opinion. That's only my theory based on putting it all together and some of the things we're hearing. Because we've also heard in the last 24 hours that he's in advanced talks with Juventus, which Juventus must have about £1 billion, because Juventus are signing Golovin, they're signing Milinkovic-Savic, they're signing Martial. I mean, Juventus seem to be linked to absolutely everybody. So, I don't think there's anything in that, but we'll keep an eye on it. What I want to talk about very quickly next is talk about De Gea, says Paruk. You know what? I am absolutely sick to the back teeth of people taking a pop at David De Gea. I mean, he's the best goalkeeper in the world. He is the best goalkeeper in the world. And when he has a bad game for Spain, you know what my reaction is? I don't give a shit. I really don't. I've got no interest. I don't even like Spain's football team. I love Spain. I love the country Spain. But I don't like Spain's football team. I don't like the way they play football. I think they're boring. I think they always seem to grind it out. Apart from David De Gea, I don't even really enjoy watching Spain. So I've got no interest in what David De Gea does in a Spain shirt. And they treat him like shit. You know, they do. The press are always at him. The fans are always at him. He's loved at Manchester United. The criticism that he gets and the question marks that he gets put against him, basically, it's being driven by people like Balogun, who don't like United, Liverpool fans who just desperately want to try and convince themselves that De Gea is somehow the next Karius. This is a man who's won our Player of the Year award. Is it 4 times in the last 5 or 3 in the last 4? I mean, he's single-handedly stopped us being a mid-table team over the last 5 years. He is absolutely world-class and, without doubt, the best goalkeeper in the world. And that is... Maybe it's not evidence for Spain, because maybe, I don't know. But in a Manchester United shirt, he does more work than any other top 5 goalkeeper. Manchester United over the last 5 years, we may have finished in the top 6 for those 5 years, but the amount of work, I guarantee you look at the stats, the amount of saves David De Gea has to make compared to the other top 6 goalkeepers is infinitely more, yet he concedes infinitely less. He is absolutely a superb goalkeeper. And I really am only speaking about this because I'm looking at on social media and people having a pop at him. I'm like, what are you on about? I mean, literally, I'm going to get you a throne to sit down on because you need a big sit down. Having a go at David De Gea is just ridiculous. I can't even get into an argument about it because it's stupid. He is the best. We love him at Manchester United. I would not swap him for anybody. Anybody would be a huge step down after him. He is a brilliant goalkeeper. And I find it hilarious that people want to get on his back. I really do. I really, really do. David De Gea is the best keeper ever, says Vince Chapman. He's the best, says Stephen Dick. The new Golden Glove. And... I mean, there's a few idiots saying that De Gea is rubbish, but you've got to give more than that. I mean, you've got to give more than that. He's proven himself over 5 years. It's absolutely ridiculous. And, you know... to be honest with you, yeah, you know what? If you don't support Manchester United, think what you bloody want. You know what? De Gea's crap. Yeah, and we're stuck with him. Oh no, he's crap and we're stuck with him. Great. If that's the line you want to go down with, great. Because I'm happy we're stuck with a crap keeper like that. I really am. If you want to call him crap, that's fine. He's not. He's the best keeper in the world. But let the haters hate. Let's have a look at this Luke Shaw story. This is from one debate to another. So I think it was in the Manchester Evening News this morning. I saw this, that Manchester United are looking at giving Luke Shaw a new contract. Well, we were only talking about Luke Shaw last night, and this is going to go off, isn't it? Because, yeah, there's the weight issues that people spoke about, which I don't think is very fair. I don't really want to get into that. But what I do want to get into is, should Manchester United be giving Luke Shaw a new contract? I say no. Now, I am a big defender of Luke Shaw. I really like Luke Shaw. I think he can be one of the best left-backs in the world, but I wouldn't give him a new contract at Manchester United. He has got a contract for another year, and then I think he can go. So maybe they want him on a longer contract so that you've got a better value on it. But unlike Martial, who I can understand why he'd want to go, but I don't want him to go, with Luke Shaw, I think I want him to go, and I think he needs to go. And it's nothing to do with hate. It's nothing to do with hate at all. It's to do with, if Luke Shaw signs a new contract, I know what that means for Manchester United. That means Ashley Young's first choice left back next season, and that means no Premier League title. So I like Luke Shaw. I really wish Jose Mourinho had liked him like I did and actually given him 10 games as the first choice left back and let him be the first choice left back, because that was the solution I always wanted. But we all know Jose Mourinho. Some things might change over the summer. I'm hopeful that he's going to change his style of play, but he's not going to change his opinions on players. He isn't going to change his opinion on players, because that would be Mourinho got it wrong for 2 years about Luke Shaw. He's not going to do that. What he's going to do is he's going to have him as the backup left back. And we know who the first choice left back is. So I like Luke Shaw. I want him to stay at the club, but in a different scenario. I know if he stays at the club, Ashley Young's our left back. So it's hard to say it, but I would like Luke Shaw to leave, because if Luke Shaw leaves, we'll sign a left back, and that left back hopefully will take over from Ashley Young, because Luke Shaw is never going to be given that opportunity. So it's a bit of a weird working, because I want us to sell a player that I like, because I know if we keep that player, he'll always be understudy to a player that's going to stop us winning the league, i.e. Ashley Young. So that's my theory on it, but I want to get some of yours anyway. Darth Vader says stop hyping it. Ashley Young isn't that bad. Darth, we don't need to get falling out. If that's your opinion, that's fine. Darth Vader thinks Ashley Young should be our left back. That's fine. I'll talk about him in a minute. Mourinho got it wrong, and everyone knows that when it comes to Luke Shaw, says Kieran Byrne. What if we keep Shaw and buy another first choice left back, says Sandeep? I can't see that happening, because then you've got 3 left backs. St. Columbo says Shaw must go, no jokers, glory hunters, love a whole team of foreigners. Says that doesn't really make any sense, to be honest. De Gea makes a mistake or two with a crap Spanish backline, and somehow he is crap. Yeah, Patrick, it doesn't make any sense. Danny Rose, says Danny Needham. Oh yeah, I'd love another player who's an understudy to Ashley Young to come to Manchester United. I mean, Danny Rose can't even get in the bloody England team because of Ashley Young. So why sign another understudy for Ashley Young? Sod off. Go and get Alexandro, or go and get that Gaya fella from Valencia. But God no to Danny Rose. Mourinho would love Danny Rose, because he's already the understudy to Ashley Young, isn't he? Young should be further up the pitch, says Jason Price. Yeah, I think the Stretford end, sat watching it, that would be good. I'm only joking. He's a good squad player. Young is not a left back, says Kevin O'Callaghan. And why is Southgate justifying Mourinho by playing him at left back too? At least in Southgate's formation, though, he's a left wing back. So he's more playing as a winger. In ours, he's playing in a bloody flat back 4. He is a left back. So at least Southgate is doing that. Gangrene Gang says Young's good. It throws in a little bit of abuse, so that ruins your point. Young doesn't attack or defend, says Robin Paul. And if this is the case and we don't get the league, Jose will be gone and Shaw may get a manager who trusts him, says Jay Coulters, which is very interesting. And that has been used for the Martial argument as well. If we can just keep Martial, maybe Jose will be gone in a year. Young should be backup for sure, and he would be a decent backup, says Red Football JV. Yeah, exactly. I'd like Ashley Young to be the backup. And Nainggolan to Inter. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, Al Chapito. What's your problem with proven Premier League players, dude? Says Akash. Well, my problem, dude, is that... who are you talking about? Is Ashley Young a proven Premier League player? Okay, right, okay. So Ashley Young is a Premier League proven player, I agree with you, as a winger. He's not a left back. That's my problem. He's not a left back. Ashley Young is a good player to have on your bench, to bring on the wing, or at a push as a wing back, but he ain't a left back, not for me. And also, Ashley Young played left back for us a lot last season, let's be honest about that. But what I'm saying is, and if anyone wants to refute this is fine, this is your opportunity. If Ashley Young's our left back next season, we're not going to win the league. And people want to turn this into some... We've had this for years with Fellaini, and it's been proven right, and I've been proven right. It's not about hating these players. I don't hate Ashley Young. I don't like Ashley Young as left back because we won't win the league with him there. That's what it is. If Ashley Young's going to play as a backup left back, or a backup right back, or a squad player, or a bench player further up the pitch, Ashley Young's brilliant. You've just said it yourself. Premier League proven player, very experienced, very good squad player, gives his all. That's exactly what we want. My issue is playing him as a first choice left back. We won't win the league. We won't. And I hate saying that, but we won't. And this can be a meme in a year's time when we win the league and Ashley Young's played 40 games at left back. But it won't happen. I really don't think it will. Kieran Burns says, in relation to Nainggolan, he didn't like the English weather and that's why he wouldn't want to come here. Oh, he's another flip-flop like Griezmann then, isn't he? And what I was going to say about Nainggolan then very quickly is that he's gone to Inter Milan for £22 million and we need another midfielder. So I don't know why we wouldn't be in there. Blend Richicha says, what's the news in relation to Fekir? I wasn't aware of any breaking news in relation to Fekir, but I can check for you while we're live. Breaking news in relation to Marouane Fellaini is that he has said that he's going to announce his future this week, isn't it? As he approaches the end of his contract at Manchester United. Some think he will stay, some think he will go, and look, I hope he goes. I think that is something that's going to cause a major meltdown if he doesn't. If he does end up staying at Manchester United, I think that's going to cause a few problems, isn't it? Because he does need to move on. Fekir, feck off, says Louise O'Donoghue. I don't want Fekir at United. I've said this already, though. I don't want to repeat myself. If Jose wants to play Ashley Young, then let him play him or do anything with him. But Jose should find a way to win the league, says Vishnu. And Young should be back up for Luke Shaw, says Mukit. And Fellaini can do one, says Amoose that rants. I read a report recently that Fellaini has cleared his Cheshire home, says Sadiq Hussain. I read that very same report, Sadiq, but it was from some ridiculously local paper that just, I wouldn't even want to mention it on a United stand. I mean, you know, sometimes it's bad enough mentioning like the Daily Star or something like that, but I read that report and it was so obscure, I was like, yeah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that's true. I'd love to believe it. And as everybody knows, in relation to Fellaini, I think he's going to stay, only because it's a coping mechanism for me. It's like, if I really got my hopes up that he's going to go and then he stays, it will destroy me. So at the moment, I'm just psychologically preparing myself that he's staying, so that if he does go, I'll be absolutely ecstatic. But if he does stay, I can say, oh bloody knew it, you know. I feel sorry for those people that it might go the other way. Sakia Mahmood says that there's a story on Alexandre today that Juventus are pricing him at 50 million and United are interested in him again. I hope they are, Zakia. I've said many a time now, and obviously we've had you lot giving your comments. We had Ross on last night. I believe that actually the next two signings are really important. It should be a left back and another midfielder. Anything beyond that's a bonus for me, but a left back and another midfielder are where it's all at. That's the most important thing. I really do think that we need to get a left back and another midfielder. And what I want to say as well is I have seen a few people, and it's not masses of people, but I have seen a few people, and I really don't want this to become a more mainstream view amongst United fans. But I have seen a few people when I've been looking around on social media, and they've been saying things like, I just thought of a note for Transfer Daily tomorrow. I have seen people saying, I think our business is done. I don't think we're going to sign anyone else. It's just going to be typical. I don't want people to start thinking that. Look, sometimes it's easy to get a bit down and worried about things, but I can categorically tell you, United will do at least another two signings. We will. We can be impatient, we can be concerned, but we will sign at least another two players. Guaranteed. You can take that to the bank. And again, this could be another meme on August the 31st or August the 12th when we don't sign anybody, but we will sign another two players. We might not be happy with who those two players are, but I guarantee we'll sign at least another two players. And so don't be worrying that our business is done. It can't be done. You can't just sign a midfielder and an apprentice fullback and try and convince anybody that you're going to win the league. It's not going to happen. So we're definitely going to sign another two players. Koch Eyes says, who we buy is dependent on what formation we play next season. Very true. And what about Pereira, says Paul Cap 70. Well, Pereira and Fosu Mensah are a real unknown entity, aren't they? Are they going to be used? Are they ready to be used? It's all right saying, yeah, use them. But I think Fosu Mensah has great potential to be a really top-class player, and I've always said that. But his Crystal Palace loan was mediocre. At times it was brilliant, but towards the end he wasn't being picked. Pereira has had 2 good loans, and he will have learnt a lot from that, but he's done nothing in the Premier League. It's all in the Liga. So I'd love to see them both involved, but at what standard they both are respectively at the moment, it's very, very hard to predict. And I would like to have those 2 players as part of the squad, but I still think we need to sign people. Patrick says, yeah, it could be Mandzukic and Arnautovic, last 2 signings. What a nightmare. And also, I mean, Virgil Hennessy says we Willian signed Fellaini. There's our 2. Yeah, Fellaini could count as a new signing, I suppose. You're right. Yeah, but it sort of feeds in quite nicely to what I was about to say. And Sabatashi says, why have Flair players suffered after Fergie left? It's the style of play, Sabatashi, isn't it? You know, Flair players have suffered at Manchester United since we've moved players on. Since Sir Alex moved on, because of the way we played. Moyes played a poor way of football. Van Gaal played the worst of all 3, and Mourinho's quite pragmatic at times. So we don't let the horses run freely, to coin a Jose phrase, very, very often, do we? So, but just to come back to that point, if you look at some of the players that we are meant to be in for, Willian in the World Cup, Milinkovic-Savic in the World Cup, Mandzukic in the World Cup, Bale, Real Madrid. Don't know what they're doing with Ronaldo yet, who's in the World Cup. So there's a lot. You can do deals away from the World Cup. And I was joking to somebody today. I said, is the English Premier League transfer window shut already? Because no one's doing any business. But this is a weird one, because you can do business when the major tournaments are on. 2 years ago, Euros were on. We had Zlatan sorted, and Pogba was started by now, even though he was still going to be playing in the Euros for a couple of weeks. So it can start kicking on. But there's something really weird about this World Cup, that deals aren't kicking on for anybody. And my theory on that is that there's a couple of things going on with big players. Chelsea haven't appointed a new manager yet, which means players who want to leave Chelsea don't know whether they want to leave in case the manager is okay. Chelsea will be signing players, and that creates a lot of money into the pot, that people will think, well, you know, maybe we'll wait to see what happens at Chelsea. Then you've got Real Madrid's situation with Ronaldo and Bale and a new manager. These players are at the World Cup. It's sort of, things are being held up, and I don't know whether we're going to see after the World Cup, or maybe when some of these players come home, is it just going to go mad for 3 or 4 weeks? And I think that might be a possibility. I hope it is, because United need to get a lot of business done. But having said that, it's not excusable that we haven't moved on Adamian yet. I mean, he's not in the World Cup. I don't think he's the most sought after property. It's clearly going to be to an Italian club, and he's probably not worth more than 15 million quid if we can get that. So just get him gone. Get him gone. Ketten thinks that everyone's waiting for the first group stage to finish before they sign players. Could be. And I have this nagging doubt it will be a last-minute Willian purchase when he's back from the World Cup, and that will be it, says Simon Little. I stand by the fact that I think we'll definitely get 2 signings. Please do drop a like on the video. It's nice to get 500 likes while we're live, and we've got plenty of people watching, so please do subscribe. And remember, through the World Cup, we're live at 9 o'clock. We're normally live at 8 o'clock UK time, but with all these 7 o'clock World Cup games, we just decided that we'll just go live at 9 o'clock, which seems to suit everybody far better. So thanks everybody who's watching live. Please do drop a like on the video. And if you're not watching live, get your comments in below. We've spoken about De Gea. Is the criticism fair? We've spoken about Martial staying. I think he will. Do you think he won't? Luke Shaw, new contract. I'd rather he was sold. I love Luke Shaw, but I think a new contract just means Ashley Young. He'll be his understudy. Fellaini, any thoughts on that? Do you think he's going to go? He's going to stay? And everything else we've spoken about as well. Just want to ask everyone in the live comments as well. I'm just going to take a selection of comments here, so get going. Fellaini, do you think he's going to go or stay? And don't just put go or stay. Say, if he's going to go, where do you think he'll go? I just want to get some comments on that. Kovacic, Man U. A little bit of an update on him on Transfer Daily tomorrow. I just need to do a little bit of research on something that I read about 10 minutes ago. Who's going to be the number 10, says Jacob. Yeah, I don't know. Philip Max, new left back. Oh, I don't know why people are talking about him. It's just theories people throw up. I don't want Philip Max anyway. And United will end up with Fellaini in the first team, says Abdul. Well, he will if he stays. Shea Costello thinks he's going to stay. Louise O'Donoghue thinks he's going to go. And he's going to go to AC Milan, says Mr. Gamer. And hopefully Arsenal, says ex-Rob. He's going to China, says Sean. He's off to Milan, says Pankaj. He can go anywhere he wants, says Salesh. He's going to get the number 10 shirt, says Brandon. He will leave, says Sent and Elbow. I think he'll stay, says Philip Spurgeon. He's gone to China or Milan, says Darren. Fellaini to Barcelona, says MM Vivek. Bio20 says he's going to Turkey. And he's going for a big payday. He's going to Milan. He's going to China or Arsenal, says Kieran. He's going to Manchester United, says Robin. And he's going to West Ham, says Man United is on top. And, okay, he's going to Arsenal, says Satch. I don't think he'll go to Arsenal. If he goes, I think he'll go Turkey, which is what Alex Ball has just said. He said Besiktas, but we'll wait and see. Anyway, really enjoying these shows at 9 o'clock because I'm doing That's Football for the watch-alongs if you want to get over there. But then I come live on here and I talk about the club I love with all you lot. And they've been really, really... we just whiz through comments and it flies by. So I'm really enjoying it. So thanks everyone for watching. Thanks everyone who's dropped a like on the video. Back tomorrow at 7 a.m. with Transfer Daily. Remember that goes up every Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. A quick 7 a.m. UK time. A quick 10-minute transfer review of what's going on. And I'll be back again as well, 7 a.m. tomorrow and then 9 o'clock tomorrow night. But also, 1 o'clock tomorrow, we've got Rants and Flex with their weekly United chat, which is a great video. I know what they're talking about. Keep your eye on for that. I'll speak to you all soon. Thanks for watching.